today we're going to talk to a good friend of mine who is also one of my favorite comics. I co-host a show called Mapping the Heavens at UCB with him. He is one of the funniest people in the world, and he just became a father only days ago. We caught him at a rare moment where he's got some silence. He's in the laundry room. Let's meet Rob Delaney. Hello, Rob Delaney.
Hello, Dave.
How are you?
I am well, thanks. How are you?
I am great, but the reason why you are on our show right now is that you are days into fatherhood.
8 days.
8 days into fatherhood. This is a very exciting time in a hot young comic's life, the birth of your first child. Congratulations on that. How do you feel?
I feel great. As I told you before we started, I wept earlier today for a little while because I was so happy. And yeah, all the hyperbole is true, or rather all the cliches that people say, like, you know, you're incredibly tired, but you're incredibly happy, are totally true. So I completely back all those up. It's just the double best. It's insane.
You and I have a very long history.
We do.
We started together at Improv Olympic 8 years ago, 9 years ago, but let's say 8, at IO West, doing improv comedy together, long before we should have.
Well,
can we agree on that?
You gotta start somewhere,
right? And
often that place will be awful,
right? We took classes together, and you made me laugh, I made you laugh, and so we thought, well, the two of us together will probably make everyone laugh.
Correct. And
we were wrong. We were wrong. We started doing shows far before we were ready.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I remember we had like a 20-minute show, and there were maybe 30 people there in that dark room up top where there's no ventilation and no seats, and people were on the floor, cross-legged, and there was not a fucking peep out of the audience for 20 long minutes.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
But now you are lighting audiences on fire. You are making people.
Yeah. And hey, you and I are still doing shows together, so that, you know, is good. I think true. We started quote too early, but you have to have that go-getitiveness to, you know, to one day be funny. You know, you have to have more confidence than is warranted. You know what I mean? So I think it's good that we did that.
Me too. I think failure is super important. I really do.
You have to fail 1,000 times.
And it used to scare me to death. The idea of going out on stage and doing something and like having to be out there. Like, you can't just say, oh, I don't want to be doing this show anymore, and leave. Like, you have to stay out with a crowd that does not like you, and that scared me to death for like 30 years of my life. And now it's how I spend a good percentage of my time in front of audiences who don't like me. And it's fine. You learn a lot.
Oh my God. Like, I remember one of my jokes, this is so amazingly bad, is, I don't even know if you know this, but like, it's a good idea to think if your joke will resonate with people other than you when you say it in front of them, because it's not just about you anymore once you decide to open your stupid pie hole and share it.
Right.
I remember, okay, on a map of the world, all the countries have their names, right? And if you're in the United States of America, those names are in English, right? Some countries have their own name written in their own language under it, and Greenland, okay, has on it written, like, under it, it has like in Inuit or whatever they speak there, the 5 people who live there, the name of it, which is like Kalit Nunat or something like that.
Yeah.
And that so happens to be on a lot of maps, right? I like cartography. Anyway, so I thought that was a joke that I should say. Literally, like, hey, how about on maps, how all the countries would just say, like, England, France, but old Greenland, Kalit Nunat? What? Come on! And people uniformly, like, nice people in the audience were like, you should kill yourself. You are not a person who should be alive. And they're right about that. They are absolutely correct.
But you had to do that. You have to do that. You have to do that.
You have to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In order to be reborn as the beautiful phoenix that you are.
Yeah, I'm sweating and hot, ashamed of myself for having done that, and then even saying it now.
Oh, God, that's beautiful. You and I have a show together coming up at UCB on April 21st.
Yeah.
Try that joke again out on stage. The crowd is primed to like you now. Maybe it'll go over better.
honestly, framed as, oh my God, can you believe how horrible this is? Then it might possibly make one person or two people laugh. But to really try to sell that joke, oh my God, that would be a great bet, like for a game for comedians to have, like if you bet on whatever sports game, and then whoever loses has to go out and really try to sell the worst joke and see if they can.
Let's make that bet sometime in the next couple of weeks.
I'd love that.
Twitter has really sort of been the engine of your rise as a stand-up comic.
Been tremendously helpful.
Now, how were you on board from the very beginning? Were you an early adopter? How did Twitter reach out to you for a partnership?
No. Yeah. No? A little over 2 years ago, I'd heard of Twitter. I'd heard of a few months prior, and I was under the impression that your phone would vibrate or whatever in your pocket and say, like, Lisa had a burrito in Los Feliz. That's what I thought it was. And I thought, because I think that's what it was billed as at first. And so I thought, that's stupid, which it is.
Yeah.
But then I was in a hotel room in Minneapolis. I was doing a stand-up, some shows in Minneapolis, and I was in my hotel room, and Louis C.K. announced on Facebook that he had joined Twitter, and I thought, oh, well, if Louis is doing it, maybe you should check it out. So I did, and along with a lot of other comedians, I realized, hey, this is a good place for pure jokes to put them in there, and that proved to be the case. And so I've tried to just put jokes as they come to me on there, and thank goodness, people have enjoyed them, or at least the people who follow me.
Get back to your baby. We just wanted to check in with you and say hello.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And
we live in the same city, so we can actually do this in person someday.
I know, I look forward to it.
Folks, if you would like to see Rob's and my show, we would love to have you. It's called Mapping the Heavens. It's at Upright Citizens Brigade, Los Angeles, this Thursday, April 21st at 9:30 p.m. Later on in the week, we've got Rana Sobhany. After that, Mark Proksch, you may know him as K. Strauss. And rounding out the week, we got music and conversation with young singer-songwriter Chaz Mason.
Take me up till I can't come down. Hold me, come feel and know me. Yeah. I said you thrill me every time you're around.